Hey guys, I'm 13 here, trying to find my way home. I'm pretty much okay now. I went and watched a bunch of guys do some off-roading, and then we left a different way than we came in. I was following a guy in a car, and he was using his GPS, and it was taking us down some weird road. Like, it was taking us down some like little side streets, which was odd. He must have had it set for like shortest distance instead of fastest time. So, anyways, but we got onto a main road, and I'm like, okay, I can probably find my way from here. So I broke apart because it's frustrating following a car when you're on a motorcycle. And I have a topic. The topic is, should motorcycle dealers be held responsible for their customers' death? And, you know, the answer is, if you want a quick answer, it's going to be no, obviously. But there's so many times I've had people write to me and they're like, and tell me stories about their, you know, they go to buy a motorcycle and they're looking at like a Ninja 250 and the guy's telling them to buy a Ninja 1000. And they're like, yeah, but it has too much power and I don't have any experience. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. You just don't go hard on the throttle and you'll be fine. And there's more to it than that. Like, there really is. Like, there's a reason why in most of Europe you have to ride a 150cc motorcycle or less than like 20 horsepower or something like that for a certain amount of time before you're allowed to get something bigger. You know? There's a lot of logic behind that. And then in America, you got like 16-year-olds going out and trying to buy 1000cc bikes. It's just nuts. I'm going to the motorcycle shop right now. My bike's got a bit of a problem. And one of the dealers there, he sold a bike to a guy, and the guy's handicapped. He has a bad leg, like one of his legs doesn't really bend at the knee, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know. He's got a bum leg. I'm not sure of the specifics. So he bought a Ninja 250. And he was riding it for a few months, and he was doing fine. And then he went back to the shop, and he decided to buy a bigger bike. And he was going to give the 250 to his son. And the dealer's like, okay, yeah, well, that's a lot of money. And he's like, don't worry about money. I'm okay for money. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, so he started the paperwork and stuff. And then like a day or two before he's supposed to pick up the new motorcycle, he has a crash right around here and near the high-speed rail, and that's where I'm going to. It's like 2 kilometers ahead. He had a crash near here and broke his neck, paralyzed from the neck down. And the dealer like went to visit him in the hospital, and it's just like, he phoned the dealership and said, you know, we'll forget about the new motorcycle scratch, you know. And when the dealer was telling about this, he was like crying. He wasn't like sobbing, but he had like, his eyes were watered. He's telling, and his voice broke a few times, and you know, and it wasn't his fault, you know, no fault at all. He sold the guy a 250, which is like the perfect, which is like the perfect starting bike. So he doesn't have any fault. You sell someone a 250 is the way to. It's a starter bike, and but nonetheless, he was still pretty choked up about it. But it's a big deal. Paralyzed from the neck down, you know, like. If I had a choice between paralyzed from the neck down and dead, I would choose dead. And I think most people would too. So I think being paralyzed from the neck down is a fate worse than death. I'm not really sure where I'm going from here. Okay, there's a sign. What's the foot hanging down? Like, that's just stupid. That's so stupid. He's got his foot hanging off the scooter for no reason, and he's like jerking it around, like. So, Yeah, and then in America, they're like negligent. You know, I get people going. I get my viewers writing to me telling me that they went in to look at the Ninja 650, and the guy's trying to sell them the Ninja 1000. Obviously, they make a bigger profit off these bigger bikes. Obviously, there's a higher markup. Like there's no other reason why some dealer would try to talk someone into getting a Ninja 1000 over a Ninja 650, other than like they're trying to make a bigger profit. Which is disgusting, because they're trying to make a few extra bucks and they're trying to sell you something that is much more dangerous than what you want. You go in there asking for a bike that's somewhat safe, and they're telling you to buy something else. It's just, and it's so common because I keep hearing it again and again in my comments. So, anyways, yeah, that's it. I guess wasn't very funny. Wasn't very interesting. I'm kind of focusing on roads a lot here. Sorry about that. But I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on it, if you've had that kind of experience, if you've heard the... Oh, shit. It's a fucked up light, man. I can't go straight, okay? This is a dead end. So this green light is specifically telling me to turn. Like, that's straight. I can't go... I could maybe go right. But when you got a solid green telling you, okay, it's safe to go, and you can't go straight, you can only go left. So what do? You go left, and then you get hit head on. Like, that light should really be... It should be, they can go straight... You know, they can go or I can go, not both at the same time when I have to go across their lane like that. My dream is to buy a house in this area. The high-speed rail is just over there, and there's like tons of parks, tons. There's park. There's like too many, and it's like you got bicycle lanes everywhere. You could like go out with your kids and just ride around. There's like almost no traffic around here. It's in the future, I suppose there will be, but for the next few years, this area is just ideal. It's all parks and bicycle paths, and then you got the high-speed rail. There's a huge. The mall that I go to the most, shopping mall, is just like over there. It's like across the river, kind of. It's like less than 5 minutes from here. If I lived in this area, I'd be going to that mall daily. Just, you know, like, they have a huge selection of restaurants and foods at the mall. So, speaking of which, there's an asshole, man. Like, these are the 2-car lanes. This is a bicycle lane, and that on the side there is like maybe scooter and maybe parking, and he drives into it to turn. It's like this is the fucking turning lane, and it makes his turn much more difficult because now he's got to do a much sharper turn to go right because he's so far over already. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, evidently he was going on the right-hand side because he wanted to get ahead of me because he thought his fucking SUV was quicker than my motorcycle. Maybe that's it. Fucking retard. He didn't want to stop behind me. He didn't want to get stuck behind the Ninja. Actually, I want to turn left here. Topic done.